Hey, third time's a charm. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. I am recording for Stamp Camp. I have some homies back in Minnesota, and we're going to go through the 4 cards that I have for this month. And I am hoping to take more time with the last card because there's just a few more little instructions with that one. So everything is going to be pretty self-explanatory, but I will go through the cards anyway. I have already sent the instructions, and now that I'm doing this recording again, hopefully it'll work correctly, and I will get this sent out as well. So I'm going to flip over, and we are going to go to my screen so you can see my cards. So these are the 4 cards that we have for making this month. 3 of them, as you can see, are using the theme with the thermos. It is a retired set. I started going through some of my stuff and I realized, you know, I've had this set out for a while. I wanted to do something with it, but there were other sets that I did first, and then this one, finally I'm like, okay, we're gotta get this done. So we are doing that in, that set was called Warmest Heart. And now this next set, Rest, Relax, Enjoy, is the other one I used. And that one is a current set in the catalog. So let's get started. Card number 1 is this one. It is Get Well. And I used an expired cardstock. I am glad to say I've finished it up. So I used Starry Sky, and then I had some 6x6 designer series paper still, and so I've cut that down for on the face of the card, and I used Seaside spray for this other color, and that is not an active color anymore. So let's go through this quick. This designer series paper was cut to fit with 1/8 of an inch border of the card base. That goes on flat to the surface. This was from the speckled dies. I took one of the largest ones to create this, and I cut 1/4 of an inch off the bottom to have a flat or a surf, whatever you want to call it, a straight edge. That's better. That's better. And then I put that flat to the surface. The thermos is flat to the surface. There was an argyle pattern. I'm using that over the thermos, and then I'm using glitter DSP, and I'm using the cup, the top, and the border around the side. So I actually went in, it's a, here's an old catalog, this is what it came in, and the 3 cards I'm making are actually quite similar to what was in the catalog. So here was what was in the catalog. I made mine a little different. This is more of a square card, but I'm just using the traditional size card. So the only thing that's on puffies is this cup. I did put it on puffies, and I found the steam is actually from a stamp in the coffee one that we just had. And this little sign was in the stamp set as well. I stamped Get Well Soon on that, and that is in the middle. This argyle thing, I am going to just tell you a bit of advice. I used glue, and I used the good glue, but it still left marks on the cardstock. So I advise using glue dots because there are enough spaces in between on these diamond shapes here. There's enough space there to put glue dots. I'd put a few down here and maybe some up on the top. and then you're going to put this over that, and you have room here for either a glue dot or some glue, but make sure the glue is going to go inward and not spill outward and leave marks. And then I use 3 rhinestones. That's card 1. Card 2 is white card base, which is hard to tell because what I did is my designer series paper I cut to the same size as the card front because I wanted to actually cover the card front. It almost gives it an appeal of that the cardstock itself is green, but in fact it's white. Because it was a retired color, call me Clover, I didn't have any more of that in full sheets. I only had little pieces. I had enough to make some thermoses. That was about it. This designer series paper is cut, like I said, to the fit the surface. I stamped and cut the thermos with this Call Me Clover, and this was a Tangerine Tango, so this was a retired color, but definitely use like a pumpkin out of our stamps inks. And then I got a piece of cardstock, which is 4x2, and I had an old stamp set that I used. It was called Travel Log, and on that one it showed, well, that little, anyway, in that particular one it had people, places, and things. And I came up with the thought that when you're traveling and you're driving all the time, you're driving day and night, so you have thermoses that you're filling all day. So I did one thermos with the sun, one thermos has the stamp that has the little moon on it. I did this in yellow, so you could use, I think I used Daffodil Delight is what I used. Yep. Yes, sirree, Bob. I used Daffodil Delight. And this one was a navy, that night of navy. In the picture of the catalog, they used a twine, or actually no, it was a ribbon, but it was a very thin, flexible ribbon. This is more of a structured ribbon, if that's the way to call it. So it didn't look as nice once I got done putting it under the thermoses. So you are getting ribbon in your supplies. Do what you want. You can try to do this. You make the ribbon big enough, and in the center you can just use tape because you're covering it up with the thermos. No one's going to actually see that. Then this is flat to the surface. The thermos is flat to the surface. So is this one, except the fact that the ribbon's underneath it, it pulls it up and makes it look like it's, you know, dimensional. But I didn't put a dimensional underneath it. But now that I think about it, you sure could. It would look kind of neat to have the second thermos up a little bit. But I have the sun and I have the moon. Those are on dimensions. So you don't necessarily need this on. You could do it. The ribbon, I would maybe make a bow, put it in the front if you want, or not even use the ribbon and use some rhinestones or something, or just make a bow that goes up behind one of them if it doesn't really work this way for you either. So that's my only thing on that one. The third one is the thermos as well, but in the catalog, I was looking at it and I'm like, boy, I can't fit 3, I can't fit 4. And then I realized this was a slimline card. So the slimline cards are a lot different in measurement, and I wanted to be able to take one piece of cardstock and make 2 cards out of it, so I made mine traditional. And I used the Berry Burst. And this is Berry Burst. This is Flirty Flamingo. No, Poppy Parade. And this is, I'm sorry, Coastal Cabana. I really like the combination of those 3. So you're doing 1, 2, 3, and then you're stamping in the middle of your thermos this pattern. It's a little tricky, but when you're stamping it down, you're going to kind of line up where this middle piece is and then stamp it. But since they're already stamped for you, you don't have to worry about it. And why am I drawing a blank? The cord that you're going to use is not enough to wrap twice. So you're going to wrap it once and you're going to knot it over here. I don't think there's enough to make a bow, but if you want, you can try. And the sentiment, what I did is I used the small dimensionals. I put a line of small dimensionals on the bottom, a line of small dimensionals on the top, and left the middle open so that way it gave a channel for your cord to go through that. The cording will go wrapped around the white piece, so don't put that on your card face before you put wrap the cord around it. Then that goes flat to the surface because this is up on a dimension. You've got that little bit of differentiating. And if you want, you can put some sequins or rhinestones or something a little bit more to give it something more to this. I might even add something because it looks a little like it needs something more. So that's the 3rd card. Everything is pretty straightforward. And the last card is this one here. This one's going to take you a little bit more time to assemble it, so I'm going to kind of go through it with you. This one is using wood grain 6x6 Designer Series paper. I'm using a darker wood grain for the full piece behind, and lighter wood grains is what I used to make the slats. So here's what you're getting in the different pieces. I've kind of started putting it together a little bit for you. So on your pieces, you're going to see there are 2 different patterns. So this one has just a plain, kind of a white paint that's kind of older paint looking. But then you look on the other side and there's this, which I like as well. It looks like it's sanded paint. And so I did that side and I used, put all of mine together here for my surface. What you're going to do here is, there's a lot of little pieces, so let me get these off. That was from the previous video that didn't actually work, so let's go to this one. Okay, you're going to put on your white cardstock, let's see if I can get this a little bit here. I'm trying to go in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to take your wood grain, the dark wood grain, full piece, and that's going to go on the front of the card. There's going to be probably 1/8 of an inch around, so you will see the white, you will have a white border from the cardstock, and that's fine. So your first piece, or your first slat, you want to kind of find a ruler or something and, kind of put it 1/4 of an inch, and 1/2 of an inch down. And you're going to take your bottom one and put it 1/2 of an inch up. 1/2 of an inch, yep. And then your middle pieces you're going to just put in the middle of them and kind of evenly. So what you could do is basically you could have your top and your bottom already measured and taped down. And then when it comes to the middle two, I would put them in there, set them down, and then when you go, just hold on to the one, take the other one off, put the tape on, and hold on to it when you're putting it back and put it on, and then you will be able to keep it in the distance that you want between each of them that way. Your sentiment, rest, relax, enjoy, put that right on top, on the top slat right in the middle. And I would do that right away because when you are putting your bottle and you have your pump, you don't want to put it up so high that the pump interferes with the sign. So now you have all your pieces here, and I'll just tell you what a couple of the little tricks are. So the treat yourself, you're just gonna put secure that with some adhesive. Your pump, you can do it a couple different ways. You can take this and put it on turn it over and put 2 glue dots on here, or you can put 2 glue dots on the top of your bottle. Either way, what you want is a couple glue dots, and then you're going to put your pump on top of your bottle. Now here's the one that's a little trickier, and that is the wick to your candle. Turn your candle over, and in the middle, or somewhere close to the middle, put your glue dot as close to the top as you can. Then you're going to turn it over, and you're going to try to cover the bottom, just the bottom little part of your wick. And now you have it glue dot stuck to the candle. So you have your candle here. Now you're going to take your bottle and you're going to put it on dimensions. What I did is I took the candle, we used the small dimensions because they're just a little bit lower than the bigger dimensions, which I put on here. So there's just a little bit of size difference, which I liked. Then you're going to put your bottle on your piece. The bottle kind of spaced somewhere, so the bottom of it is kind of maybe in the middle of the bottom slat. Okay, so now you have your bottle on there. Mine's crooked, but that's just because I'm not going to take the time to glue it with you. And then you're going to have your candle, and then you want your candle close. You can even tuck it if you want, and you're going to have your little wick in there. I've just got it to the side. And then what you want is you want to put your lid, which is your candle lid right here. You're going to want to put it on the bottom, or you can even have it leaning, whatever you want, but you don't want it to be below the bottom of this bottle, because then it's going to look like, it's going to look a little weird, like, is it hanging off the counter, So that's what you do, and you're good with that. You'll get a couple little gems, and you just space them on here. You might even have 3 in the package, I can't remember, but space them and put them wherever you want. Now I'm going to show you a quick way of sprucing up or doing a step up of your piece here. What I did is I had a punch that had leaves, and I used green, and I made leaves to put on each side. And this one I tucked under the candle. This one is kind of tucked near the bottle, and that was because I knew this flower, which was also a punch, with the flower 3 layers of petals, and then you put a brad in the middle, and so I put that on top of my leaves with a dimensional, and put that in there. So it kind of gave it a little bit something more, and then I took 2 of my little dots and I put 1 on each side to make it look like it was hanging. So that was, I had fun doing that. Now another thing would be you could use your ephemera packs, and there's one of the ephemera packs which has a lot of flowers. So here's some ideas for flowers, and you definitely could use these flowers from ephemera pack of Stampin' Up and use that to put around your thing as well. If you don't have the punches, or you don't want to invest in punches, this is another way around that. You could use the ephemera packs, and you can still dress up a card. So those are the 4 cards. I hope you enjoy them this month. And for those that are in my stamp camp, you're able to get the supplies, you're going to get your instructions, and you're going to have this video. I also have a special where if they do the class, and what they can do is get a second set of supplies for a discounted price and make another set of cards. And that is just something that they can enjoy and make cards and kind of do them a different way than what I showed them. So I hope that this comes in handy, and I'm going to send this off on an email so you know that it is ready. So I will see you all tomorrow for Stamp Camp. Bye!